This is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5, and I've been using it for about 5 days now. And I realize it's easy to dismiss it as a minor upgrade. It's an incremental improvement, yes, but one of an already solid, well-established foldable, the Z Fold 4. And the Z Fold 4, when it came out last year, and well, this year even, proves how far ahead Samsung is in terms of making a phone that folds open into a tablet. Now, that doesn't mean others haven't done better in part. I mean, Google's Pixel Fold has better cameras. But in terms of the complete package, the Z Fold 4 had a "this is as good as it gets right now" moment. And that's where the Galaxy Z Fold 5 comes in. Now, it doesn't bring a sweeping giant design change or radical new cameras, but instead tries to improve upon the Z Fold 4 in 3 areas: the durability, the battery life, and the cameras. And the Z Fold 5 gets 2 out of those 3 right. Well, mostly. So the basics of the Z Fold 5 are, well, essentially the same as the Z Fold 4 in terms of the overall design, screen sizes, buttons, USB-C port, S Pen support, and, well, of course, that $1,800 price tag. The camera bump is a little less bulky, but the individual lenses stick out more. The main screen is brighter, which I found easier to see outdoors, which I think is a significant upgrade, even if it's a minor one in terms of a year-over-year update. But I found the Z Fold 5's new hinge changes things. As you might remember with previous Z Folds, the main screen experience is excellent. It's a wonderful mini tablet, but when it's closed, the Z Fold is an awkward phone. It's bulky, and the previous hinge didn't allow it to close completely flat, leaving an actual wedge-shaped opening between the folded sides. But the Z Fold 5's new hinge solves that and can close completely shut. Well, the review unit I've been testing, there is the tiniest, thinner than paper gap that you can see through when the phone is closed. In fact, looking back at how Samsung described the way the Fold 5 closes at the launch event, it adds up.
And it reduces the Fold's gap to almost nothing.
And that's almost something. In the time I've been using the Z Fold 5, it's much less awkward to hold and more enjoyable to use when it's in phone mode. It still has the same tall, thin Xperia phone aspect ratio that will still be hit or miss for some people. Samsung says the new hinge has less mechanical parts and is more durable than previous Z Folds. Holding it, it's hard for me to tell. I mean, it does feel more solid, but that might just be because it closes flat now. An added benefit is that the Z Fold 5 is 10 grams lighter, well, according to Samsung specs, than the Z Fold 4, and about 11 grams lighter according to my coffee scale. And that is definitely noticeable and welcome. And then there's also a new processor which addresses battery life. So we've seen the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 in a lot of phones this year, and it's excellent in terms of performance and efficiency. The Z Fold 5 and Z Flip 5 have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy. Now, this is a customized version of the chip that debuted in February with the Galaxy S23 series. Its CPU and GPU get slightly higher speeds than the regular chip, but it's the efficiency gains that are welcome here and well needed, because the Z Fold 5 has the same dual 4,400 milliamp hour battery as the Fold 3 and the Fold 4. So to get better battery life out of a phone with the same battery, especially the one that has a brighter main screen, we're gonna need an efficient processor. Now, over my 5 days with the Z Fold 5, I found it last about an hour or 2 longer on a single charge than the Z Fold 4, which again is significant. On probably the day I used it the most was during a photo and video shoot, and at 7 a.m. it had a full battery, and by 9 p.m. it still had 14% left. And that was with the screen set to 120 Hertz, variable refresh rate, and being at full brightness for most of the day. Now, over the weekend, it made it a day and a half on a single charge. Obviously, depending on how you use the Z Fold 5, especially the main screen, well, it's gonna change how long the battery lasts. For example, I had back-to-back Zoom calls over Wi-Fi with the Z Fold 5, and the battery went from 100% to 76% over 75 minutes. This definitely won't best a regular slab phone in terms of battery life, but it's better than before, even just a little bit. Now, I have more battery tests to run, so check out Cnet for my full written review for all those results. And then there are the cameras. And this is the bit where I'm disappointed, just a little bit. You see, the cameras on the Z Fold 5 are the same cameras, the same lenses, the same sensors as the ones on the previous Z Fold model. But as we know with other phones, hardware is only half the equation when it comes to cameras. The Z Fold 5 gets a new image sensor processor, ISP, and that allows it to do all the computational photography that we've come to expect on any phone that gets released today. But let's take a look at some of my favorite photos and videos that I took with the Galaxy Z Fold 5. In my time with the Z Fold 5, photos and videos look nearly identical to those on the Z Fold 4. I mean, it's really hard for me to spot any meaningful differences. I do think the Z Fold 5's photos look a skosh crisper, and that might be because of the new ISP allowing the Fold 5 to have longer shutter speeds under mixed and medium light and shorter shutter speeds under bright light compared to the Z Fold 4. So yeah, not a significant upgrade. And a couple weeks ago, I did a camera comparison between the Z Fold 4 and the Google Pixel Fold and found that the Pixel cameras were better. And while I do plan to do another comparison with the Pixel Fold and Z Fold 5, I don't see anything here that tells me that the Z Fold 5's cameras have made up any ground on the Pixel Fold. Is the Z Fold 5 worth upgrading from the Z Fold 4? No way. I mean, don't do it. Maybe the Z Fold 3, but if you're contemplating upgrading from the original Fold or the Z Fold 2, this is a substantial upgrade. Now, if you're going to buy a Z Fold 4 a week ago, you're basically getting a better version of the same phone at the same price. And like other expensive phones that offer a niche appeal, like the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V, that's $1,400, there are people willing to pay a premium to have a phone that is unique, and in this case, turns into an amazing mini tablet. And even if it isn't for most people, that's where the Z Fold 5 still leads the pack. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Z Fold 5? Are the upgrades significant, or is this the case where the specs were right all along? Let me know in the comments. And for more on the Z Fold 5, check out my full written review. It has more tests, it has more comparisons, and it's at Cnet. And thank you for watching.